Technology can be wonderful. It helps us in many ways. We see the benefits of it with medicine. We see the benefits of it with transportation, communication, a host of benefits. But there's a flip side. And that flip side is that sometimes there's just too much of it. You know what I'm talking about? And we feel overwhelmed. Anyone can relate to that? A little overwhelmed with all that technology? And we go, oh man, what are we going to do about it? Well, in the short time we have together, I want to share with you some ideas that can help you overcome overwhelmed. Now, people try that in different ways. Sometimes they'll say, okay, I'm going to leave all technology alone. I'm not going to touch the stuff. I'm getting away. Or you ever hear that? I'm going on a vacation. I'm going to leave technology. I'm leaving the cell phone. Well, I understand what they're trying to do, but think about it for a moment. You're going to get away with all technology? When I hear that, the smart aleck in me, there's other terms too that people will use. The smart aleck in me says, wait a minute, you sure you're going to get rid of all technology? How are you going to get there? You're going to take a car? That's technology. You can take an airplane? Yeah, that is. I mean, you're going to get by with no electricity, no running water, no flush toilets? Hey, Sparky, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you control it. And you see, this is where we can make sure that we overcome overwhelmed by doing it. Some people say, hey, I want to go back to a time when there was no technology. Think about 500, 600 years ago or so. I don't know about that one either. Think about all the diseases they had back then. They were overwhelmed with the diseases that today, thanks to medical technology, we just get a shot or take some pills and we're okay. We take that for granted. The technology has helped us to overcome these things, but the key is we've got to handle it right. Somebody that thinks, oh, that'll go back about 400 or 500 years, I have one word for you: dentistry. Think about it. You don't want to go back there. But I think the answer is something that is much better, and this is the first step. Know that you are in control. You are in control. And when you start with that thinking, you realize, oh, okay, well, I can bring in the technology I need. I might bring a cell phone when I go on that vacation, but I'm going to leave it turned off. I've got it just in case we need it for an emergency. Or I'm going to use it only for specific things. You are in control. And by you being in control, then you're able to dictate what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. And also we see another thing that you can do is you bring in the right technologies that are going to help you. Bring in those things that are going to be most appropriate for you. I love the way that Teddy Roosevelt said it. He said, do what you can with what you've got right where you are. So you bring that in and make sure that you've got what's needed. But then you also have to learn a very important lesson, and that is to make sure that you decide what is going to be there and what's not. You learn to say a very important two-letter word called no. That's right. I love the way that Clay Shirky said it. When he said, it's not so much information overload, it's filter failure. By having the right filters and knowing when to say no, you'll do well. And I would encourage you, my friends, to say no until your tongue bleeds, making sure that you get rid of those things that are not really supporting you and your goals and what you need to do. And then there's another thing. I want to share with you a very important story that happened for me in my life. I remember there I was at home in Orlando, Florida, being able to just relax on one of those nice later December days in the middle of the holidays, relaxing, and I was watching a wonderful movie. A movie called The Matrix. Some of you seen that movie? Yeah, great movie. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to do it. It was the first of the 3 in the series they had. And there was a scene in there where Trinity and Neo, the 2 protagonists, were fighting the bad guys. The bad guys were dressed up with soldier uniforms. They had their uniforms on, their guns and helmets like 20th century. And over there in the background, there was a helicopter going. Well, they went through and they fought the bad guys, got them knocked down. They're all on the ground. And then he looks over at her and looks at that helicopter. And he sees the helicopter going whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And he looks over at her and says, can you fly that thing? And she looked back at him and said those immortal words, not yet. She jumped on her cell phone, called back to their office. I need a pilot program for a B-212 helicopter. Hurry! Okay, work with me. It was a science fiction movie. Come on. They downloaded the information into the cell phone, threw that into her brain, and she looked over at him and said, let's go. And they charged off, and well, let's just say it was real handy that they had that helicopter for the rest of the movie. It was cool. But you know, right there at that moment, it hit me. That's the key to overcoming overwhelmed and to handle things when you're confronted with that. How am I going to do this? I can't do this. Too often when somebody says, well, can you do this or can you do that? We go into a negative down spiral. We're going, oh no, I can't do that. Or, I'm not a technology person, I can't do that. Boy, I hear that one more time, I'm gonna have to slap somebody. I mean, instead, what you wanna say is, not yet. You see, not yet is the right combination. Because you're saying, I don't know how to do this thing right now, but you just wait. I'm gonna read the right books, I'm gonna watch the videos, I'm gonna take the courses, I'm gonna enroll in the local community college course, I'm gonna hire the mentor, the coach, whatever I need to do, I'm gonna figure out how to do it. If somebody else can do that, I'm gonna be willing to pay the price to make it happen. Not yet is the kind of thinking that you wanna have to overcome overwhelmed and to be able to handle whatever comes down the road in the future. You will be able to do it. You gotta be willing to pay the price though, in terms of time, money, and energy. Benjamin Franklin said it very well when he said, pour the coins of your purse into your mind, and your mind will overflow your purse with coins. Be willing to invest. Many people don't want to, but if you can do that, you're going to make it. And then also, to make it really work, you want to practice. Harvey Mackay says it very well. When he hears the phrase, practice makes perfect, you might have heard that. He says, not quite accurate. It's perfect practice that makes perfect. That's the key. You see, if you practice a golf swing and you're doing it the wrong way, and you keep practicing it the wrong way over and over, you're not going to achieve perfection with that. What you want to do is get the instructions, get the right coach, get the right video instructions, books, whatever you do, and learn the perfect way to do it, and then practice that. Doing that will help you. Seldom do we really learn something through only one exposure to new material. It takes time. And you want to keep practicing over and over. I learned that as a young child. When I was very young, my parents, I was very honored that they did this. They enrolled me in Kodokan Judo. And I learned that for many years. Matter of fact, worked my way through undergraduate school teaching that. And I found that it really helped me. And I remember my instructor way back then was a third-degree black belt from Tokyo, Japan, Toyoji Matsumoto-san. And when he would show us a new judo technique, what we were going to do, he would say this over and over. He would say, in a very thick Japanese accent, you must do it 1,000 times until it becomes natural. Then do it another 1,000. I thought, whoa, well, that makes sense. So we've got to practice it. Do the right things in the right way and stay with it. And if we do that and practice those, we will be able to be on the track to overcome overwhelm. So here are the 3 steps you want. Number 1, realize that you are in control. You determine what you're going to do. Make it happen for you. Number 2, you want to get the right strategies and you want to get the right technologies around you. For instance, one thing, here, I brought with me my cell phone. You can learn a language with this. Right now, I'm studying to learn Spanish, and I'm using a little program on here that's helping me enormously. I get to talk into it. It comes back and says, ooh, that's not quite right, Terry. Beep, or if I get it right, it goes, yay, you got it. Use this for learning. Use this for connecting with people. I love this for so many things. Think about it. One person with a cell phone can literally change the lives and reach millions of people today. Get the right technologies around you. Oh, here's another one that can help you. You can talk faster than you can type or write. So when you get an idea or you want to record something, use the dictation that's built into these things today. Get it down here, or use a voice recorder that's built here. Now you can get that information from your brain into a way that you can then make it stick and work for you. You begin doing that 1,000 times until it becomes natural, and then do it another 1,000. Practicing that gives you the ability to make it happen. And then third and finally, and I'd say one of the most important, move your thinking from no way over to not yet. Because when you say not yet, you've got a power built into that Too many times people go to a negative. Sometimes they go way too far to the positive, saying, oh, I can do it. And they're pumping their fist in the air, running around, looking kind of silly, saying, I can do it at a big rally. And that doesn't work because you get back home and your brain's going, no, you can't. You don't know how to do that. But if you think, not yet, and you're willing to put in the time, the money, and the energy to make it happen, then if you do that, you are going to be able to deal with anything that comes down the pike, hitting us in the future, and you will be able to overcome overwhelmed.